Rare Gem Productions proudly presents Entrepreneurially Thinking. Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, the Center for Emerging Technologies, changing the way you view new ventures and activating your entrepreneurial mindset, empowering you to create new pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneurially Thinking Podcast. I'm Christy Maxfield.
And I'm Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore. I lead our STEM Inclusion Initiative for BioSTL here for the region. Hey, lady, how you doing?
I'm good. You know, we have to say award-winning STEM inclusion work for the region because, you know, you've racked up some recent ones, but you've been winning awards all along. So
it's the community that we work in. There's a lot of work to do, and I'm so happy I'm working with partners like CET and yourself so that we can impact our community.
Me too. I love working with you.
Yes.
And we are thrilled to have our founding sponsor, CET and BioSTL, and want you to check out what's going on with them on our website and on their websites. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring the podcast to you. So thank you to them. And thank you to all of you for listening. Please use the hashtags ETHINKSTL, eThink Podcast, and stay listening to keep up with us and to share this out with your friends. As you know, one of our goals for this year is to increase our listenership, so increase our plays and downloads. We encourage you to help your friends find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the places they find their favorite podcasts.
Absolutely. Help your friends help them to help us. That will
all
help
that.
you.
Help us, help you, help them. All that. However you want to do it.
Exactly.
So who are we talking to today? Somebody who's doing a lot of helping in the world.
I think so. And you know, in a world where our lives are always on our phones, we know that, right? It's necessary that we're able to have easy access to them at all times. I don't know about you guys, but I carry my phone in my hand all the time.
I can't believe when my husband leaves the house without it. I'm like, it's like an appendage.
Exactly.
How did you get out the door?
Exactly. So as you guys know, our phones are how we communicate, how we find directions for most women. I don't know about men. Watch movies, play games, check emails, and get our latest gossip fix. But as women, clothing doesn't always quite cooperate with our phone use. So one female entrepreneur decided to change that. In her mind, there just had to be a way for women to have access to that be-all device that we rely on so heavily. Pant pockets are too shallow, especially for women. We already have curves. We don't want any more curves where we don't
Not
need
lumpy
them.
ones anyway.
Exactly. And unlike men's shirts, most women's shirts don't have a pocket at all. Or if they got the pocket, it's a small pocket. And when you bend over, it's going to pop out. And that might not be the only thing that pops out. And large purses, well, you know, they're just a sinkhole for a ton of stuff that we carry around. So we could spend days digging and digging for those items that we just can't find in those purses. So you're going to love this simple fix that our guest today has created with the female in mind. So stay listening.
CET, the Center for Emerging Technologies, is a proud founding sponsor of the Entrepreneurially Thinking Podcast. We want you to know about all the great resources they provide, including the Square One Ignite and Bootcamp programs, as well as the online startup toolkit. The toolkit has videos, articles, and other materials to help you build your business. For more information about CET's programs, visit cetstl.com. And for your renewed and continued support, CET, we say thank you.
Purpose First Advisors is proud to support the Entrepreneurially Thinking Podcast. Purpose First works with entrepreneurs and the organizations that support them to accelerate business formation, scaling, and transformational growth. For more information about how to work with Purpose First Advisors on business model validation, financial modeling, core messaging, or other growth and profitability strategies, visit purposefirstadvisors.com.
I'm Tami Lange, CEO of Save the Girls Touchscreen Purses. And what entrepreneurially thinking means to me is that I'm always searching for a new idea, a new way to handle things, and a way to bring that to market.
So joining us on the phone today is CEO and founder of Save the Girls Touchscreen Purses, Tami Lange. Tami is a Metro East entrepreneur.
Yes.
So for our listeners, she's on the Illinois side of our particular river.
She's on the other side of the pond.
practically in our world. If you're, the Missouri or the Mississippi, once you cross it, you're in a whole nother land. And she's joining us from her office today. And so we just are really appreciative, Tami, that you could make some time to talk with us and share your story. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we're thrilled because as we get ready for our podcasts, we always find out a little bit about our entrepreneurs. And so in addition to running a company, you're married, have 5 kids, 3 dogs, and more cats than you can count is what it sounds like.
It's a little zoo at my place. Yes, it is.
Awesome. Does everybody have their own customized purse so that, the touch screens are available no matter what? I could just imagine them strapped to the cat's back.
Where the dog is sitting there playing with the phone.
Totally. Butt dialing somebody.
Absolutely. Not them, but my kids. And actually, they helped me design purses. So that's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting. It actually was just such a short time ago. So it's a fun story. So it's just the summer 2017 in July, to be exact.
Wow.
And all in the same week. Yes, all in the same week. I had 2 daughters. One dropped their phone in the toilet out of her back pocket. She went to go to the bathroom.
Got popping.
It went swimming. And I want to know who had to go get that phone. That
no.
Nobody wanted to get it. We'll say that. And my other daughter actually lost hers in Pierre Marquette hiking.
Oh, my gosh.
In the same week, first the hiker lost hers for 3 days. We searched for it. While we were searching for hers, the other one dropped in the toilet. I'm like, it was terrible. So that weekend, we all were going to a family reunion in Branson, and my sister-in-law was telling her my phone issues, and she's like, "Oh, I don't lose mine. I keep it here." And she pulls it out of her bra, and she had breast cancer. So I'm like, everybody's nuts. We're nuts about our phone. We lose them, we drop them, put them in your bra.
Right.
It's horrible. I mean, there needed to be a solution. So I went online, and we were at a family reunion. So there's obviously a lot of women there. Actually, my husband's side, there was like 90 people,
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to get a bunch of purses for everybody, keep our phones in like kind of a gift. So I shopped around there, and then I went online. I couldn't find anything at all. And the next day we were canoeing actually on the river up there near Branson, and I could text through the backside of a waterproof bag.
Oh.
And I thought, well, shoot, why don't I just stick this in the backside of a purse, and then you can text, while you have your phone. And I mean, totally joke. I mean, it was just totally, yay, we're on vacation, we're having fun, And so I put it on a website. It's actually called Alibaba. It's a bidding site. And I mean, I went to bed. I'm just like, it was just funny. I took a picture of the design that I wanted. I did that. The next morning, 16 factories bid on me.
Oh my gosh. So what's the site again that you put it on? Alibaba?
It's called Alibaba.
Yeah. I didn't realize you could do that kind of bidding
sourcing.
for manufacturers there.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And then all the manufacturers that want to bid on you or whatever come to you and say, oh, I'll do it. I can do it for this price. So they started bidding their prices and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. So I interviewed people to see if they were interested. And of course, I mean, it's a national phenomenon with us losing the phone, and where do you hold it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the toilet is always the place people lose phones in.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just lose it in the restroom, but it's also disgusting to put it on, the toilet paper rack or whatever when you're using the restroom, whatever. It's just a problem.
Wow.
So anyway. Yeah, so that's how we came up with Save the Girls. So then, thinking of a name, I'm like, well, shoot, Save the Girls, save us from all of our problems of losing our phones. But also, I do donate 10% of all proceeds to breast cancer research in my sister-in-law's honor. Because honestly, if it wasn't for her, she was the one that, when I saw her pull it out of her bra, I'm like, are you kidding me? You have breast cancer and you're pulling it out of your bra.
Oh,
that's what made me say, there's got to be something better than that. So anyway, so I actually quit my job of 20 years. It was Blanchard Sandwiches, a very St. Louis company. I ran our marketing and new product development. And I quit my job and I flew to China by myself. So if you want to talk about entrepreneurs, it was scary. Everybody's like, were you scared? Well, yeah, I was a little scared, but I'm like, darn it, I'm going to make this work.
Wow. That's amazing.
All the factories were kind of within a 3-hour range of Guangzhou, which is in southern China. So I flew there and interviewed factories. I of course, expected to see children working and things like that, which I did not, I wouldn't have approved on. And I'm telling you, they're very professional. We ran a sandwich manufacturing facility, so I understand manufacturing.
Yeah.
Very professional, all adults, no kids, and
Right.
they make some of the biggest brands in the world. In fact, my first purse was they made purses that were in Vogue magazine. They retail for $800, and here I am in the same factory making mine with the same materials, different style, of course, and I'm selling mine for $26 or whatever.
Tammy,
So,
that is amazing. That is amazing. So
yeah.
first of all, for you to get on a flight going to China, I'm assuming you don't speak Mandarin, or do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So how did you navigate that? Because that's a world of its own. Just navigating where these manufacturers are. Do most of these manufacturers, are they speaking English as a common language, or did you have to get someone to help with the translation of not only your words, but your ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the factories spoke English. Some of them did me and could write English, but not necessarily speak English. And I hired a broker. I hired somebody that was local through I started quickly, reaching out. Who knows anybody in China that can help me, that does this type of thing. So, and then on a side note, I do have a brother-in-law who lives in Shanghai, which is 13 hours from where these factories were.
Hong Kong.
But the funny thing is, I didn't tell him I was coming because he has a little baby, and I'm like, I didn't want to bother them because if somebody's here and we're in St. Louis and they're in Denver, do you say, "Oh, fly to
Right.
St. Louis to visit me" when you're coming in? Of course you don't do that. So I told him though. I said, "Hey, I'm coming to China." And he goes, "You can't just show up to China." I'm like, "Well, why not?" He's like,
Right.
He's like, "You don't understand. There's no Google here. They block all Google, Gmail, all this." He's like, "There's no food near me. You can't do food near me and find food."
Near me. That's awesome. So
Wow.
So
you had
so
all
anyway,
of those
so he-
challenges. I got to back up though and be like, okay,
Sure.
great family reunion weekend.
Right.
Fabulous
Yep.
idea that really quickly went from a kind of a joke to not so much.
Right.
Were you looking to be an entrepreneur?
I was open to something new. The inside scoop is I was 49, and quite frankly, I'd done a lot of really cool things in my career. We had moved from California back to the Midwest, and I must tell you, I was feeling a little sad. I was going to be 50. My career was done. I had done really great things, and I knew we had sold off a portion of our company, so I wasn't going to get to do the fun things that I really like to do anymore. And so I kind of felt like my career was washed up, and I was done. And I'm like, well, I got to come up with something else. And I've always thought, I wish I would have thought of that. Or so many devices. I'm like, hey, I thought of that. I just didn't do anything about it.
Right. And
So when
Tammy,
this
you
came
got to
up,
know 50's now the new 30. So of course, you're on your second career. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what I found out.
Yes.
I was just feeling sad for myself. So I want to encourage any of your listeners that, hey, no matter your age, you can go and do whatever you want.
That's
So,
right. So you came from an
Very
entrepreneurial family background.
Yeah,
it seems
absolutely.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is very, very cool. So once you identify when you were in China and obviously you found food, what
Factories.
And factories, right. What was your next step? I mean, how did you identify which manufacturer you're going to work with? And take us through that journey to the actual product now and how you are marketing and selling it.
Yeah, well, it was very interesting. First of all, their material market is the size, the Rams Dome. If you put about 10 of those all side by side, plus going up that many levels, that's how big just the material market is.
Wow.
Where you can get any kind of material. So that was a little overwhelming, but I kind of honed down on doing 6 designs at first, plus 3 colors, let's say, in each. And I stayed there for 16 days. So in between,
you prototyped.
I visited my. Yeah, I did prototypes while I was there. We literally would cut things out. They'd send them back, cut them back. You should see my stick drawing. I think I took their calendar off the wall, and I actually made a template out of their calendar so that they could, because they couldn't understand what I was saying. I'm like, I'm just going to build it for you. So I made a purse out of their calendar, and then they were able to mimic it. But the amazing thing is we got all the product. Like everybody's like, I can't believe you actually got product. But we had product coming in October then. So I was just there very early September, and already by the end of October, I was able to start receiving product. Wow. Everything I received, I did fly in. You know, I didn't have any time for a boat or anything like that. And I didn't know how well it would sell. But in October, so I got them really at the very end of October, I sold a whole $590 worth where I got paid. You know, I had a couple consignments out there. But then in November, I sold $22,000. And in December, I sold $44,000. And then in January, I thought, no, we're done. Nobody's going to buy anything. It's January. Well, we sold $90,000 in January.
Of this year?
Let's just say it went really well.
Oh,
no, last year.
Last
this year we sold way more than that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my
just
gosh.
Last year. We did over $1 million our first year. So we did $1.1 million our first year, and this year we'll do well over 4.
Okay.
So I mean, it sells really quick.
You should see our faces.
Okay. All right. So just for our listeners, results may vary.
Right. Exactly.
But clearly you came into the game very well equipped, right?
Yes.
You had, you know, a very long and successful career. It was not lost on us that you said that you were in new product development, which not only does that give you a great sense of the manufacturing process, but you also understand what it takes to take the manufactured product to market. So you've got a lot of insight there. I also it was not lost on me that you said you did some interviews. So some, you know, between June, July, and then going to China in September and getting product in October, you actually did some third-party verification.
Let me tell you about that, and I'll tell you about this because in my history, we did a lot of interviews and that kind of thing, and you can do very expensive interviews, and so that's how I was taught. That's what I did.
Right.
Facebook came, and I was still going to stores, interviewing customers. You always do a qualifying question, and I'll tell you from my experience, you have to ask. First, have you ever bought a purse before? In this case, of course, they probably have, but you don't want people who don't buy purses, you know, or whatever. And then, have you ever bought a small purse before? And then, you know, would you buy a purse that you could, you know, text in the back side? You want to kind of qualify them down to make sure it's somebody who actually would buy your product, kind of thing. And then you get their information. I'm going to tell you, and I did this before I left my other job. I had done an outside one doing this big interview thing for prepackaged sandwiches, which is a little different. But then I did a Facebook questionnaire. I got the same results off Facebook as these really expensive ones. Yep. So I used 100% Facebook to interview people and get their ideas. And then I knew from my friend group of, let's say, 1,000 people or whatever, I knew their age group and what they would say. So then I'd write down their age group and then what they liked and that kind of thing so that I could help develop my product.
And you have kids. You have girls. So testing
they don't count. You know, friends, family. Come on now.
No, but I mean their circle.
Yes, but they still got to say, yes, Mama, we would buy it.
Right. Because your kids are they are your worst critics because they will look at you in the eye and say, that's stupid.
That's true.
I have a teenager, so I do know. Okay.
You do. I don't.
Yeah, they did open up one of my colors that came in and they go, Mom, you made a mistake. I'm like, it's sold. But it's sold. Every time I sell it, I'm like, hey, the pink gator's still selling. And they're like, I can't believe it.
Well, that's awesome. I really appreciate you giving that background because we work with a lot of folks who are intimidated by the customer discovery process, who think the interviews have to be really complicated. And we really do encourage them to talk to people face to face whenever possible. But Facebook, it really does change the game, right?
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about your journey and the lessons learned.
BioSTL is a proud founding sponsor of the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. We want you to know about all the great things they are up to, including the BioSTL STEM, Entrepreneur Inclusion Initiative, and Fundamentals program for early stage would-be entrepreneurs in the life sciences in St. Louis. You can learn more about all of BioSTL's programs by visiting biostl.org. And for your renewed and continuing support, BioSTL, we say thank you.
My name is Alice Wilson. I'm with Grace Hill Women's Business Center here in St. Louis. Entrepreneurially thinking means to me stretching the circle. It means whatever it is that you're doing currently, you can always improve and do it better. And don't be afraid to expand your circle of knowledge.
So Tami, you shared with us sort of how you did some of your initial interviews, got that market validation, went over to China and did it, and that your growth is exponential at this point. So
you are a true hockey
stick. How are you selling? Because we're always talking to people about market entry, right? And of course they want to be in Walmart and they think they're going to have an Amazon relationship tomorrow. You may in fact be in Walmart and have an Amazon relationship and be another exception to the rule. But how'd you go to market? How'd you scale? How'd you go from a few $100s worth of sales to over $1 million?
And I will tell you exactly how I did that. So I was planning. I did take some classes. So July and August, actually, I'm kind of a workaholic. I work a lot, but I dove in and I took classes like how to do online marketing and that kind of thing. Quite a bit. I actually did spend some money on coursework and things like that. I used something called ClickFunnels and a couple other things to launch with, and that helped me. I have a lot of resources, obviously, in marketing. So the web, I had a website up in 10 days. With product pictures and everything because I had all those relationships. So I know how to do branding, new product development, and point of sale material, all that. So that was pretty easy for me. That was the easier side. But as far as like launching, I launched initially as a web-based product and I was eking along as a web-based product. Like everybody who ordered online, I think I knew, and I kept waiting to the time when I could like have customers that I didn't know buy my product. And even if I didn't know them, they were like 2 steps removed from me. I could track back, oh, they know my cousin Jane. She posted something about
I need a
me,
stranger.
I need strangers. I was like so excited to get some strangers on there. But a friend of mine actually tracked me down. I was just selling at an event on a Saturday. And she's like, you have to come and put these in my store. I think they're going to work in my store. And I was like, okay, I can try it. I put them in her store and she sold 19 her first week. And she was a very small, she did embroidery shop. So she was an embroidery
very
shop.
Special too.
Yeah, specialty. And so she sold 19. So she started telling all of her friends that had stores. She's like, this is what you need to do. So the reason why I went from $590 to $22,000 is I ran and got as many new stores as I could. I did do email marketing. I bought a list of, retailers and then I targeted them and I sent out emails and all of a sudden I had 100 of her, I had 100 stores just like her all within about 2 weeks. Because I used her, I did a Facebook Live with her and I did a little video that I put inside my email marketing to potential customers where she told her story of how quickly they sold. So I used testimonials to move the product. So that's how I really grew so fast is I completely had to switch gears. I pivoted, on a dime and went in a new direction. And honestly, like I am more comfortable with retail business to business because that's what I've done with sandwiches, then the marketing online because that was new to me. And that's why I dug in and I took, a 6-week class and, all of that, which I think I did learn a lot, but I'm still not, that side of my business could very much be developed and it would be amazing. And I just need to find the strategic partner to do it because I realize that maybe that's not my skill set, but I'm very good, with customers and acquiring stores. So we had about 300 stores set up by Christmas.
Wow. So who was doing your distribution? Are you doing this out of your garage and your kids are helping ship stuff? I mean, what's going on?
So we did all of that out of our garage, and out of our basement. We had a pretty nice size basement, so we just made it into an office and that kind of thing. So I ran it out of that till about March. And then we just realized we could, when we started ordering container fulls of 26,000 purses at a time, they don't fit in my basement.
When the boat got in.
when the boat was bigger than my house, we decided it was time to get a place.
Oh my gosh.
So we're back over in Belleville and to where we actually used to manufacture sandwiches. And so I have a plant here. So I had a big warehouse and offices that I knew I would blow into. I just didn't know that it would be 5 months or, well, actually about 7 months after I launched, we moved over here.
So wait a minute. I thought you guys sold the sandwich business.
We sold the sandwich business, but we had built a brand new facility in Caseyville.
Okay.
So our old facility, we had tried to sell. Nobody would buy it for like
it was
7
waiting
years.
for you.
So here I am. I'm back in our old facility, which is absolutely perfect for
exactly. Wow,
that's awesome. So how big is your team now?
Yeah,
because you really were a 1-woman and 5-kid show for a while.
Yes, I was. But now we have seven people on board right now. I'm just hiring another person this week. So, yeah, we'll be at 8 people here in Belleville. And that includes we do ship everything from here. So we do have a shipping department with 1 full-time person and 1 part-time person.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. You grew that company in less than 2 years to a multi-million-dollar company. That's amazing.
So, and to make the story even a little bit better, I hate to say this because you said don't set the bar high, but we were invited to the Oscars. So we were, again, just last weekend in the Oscars.
You guys.
And not only that, so many actresses and actors came up and said that we were the best product and there were $100,000 gift bags.
Oh my God. Cool. I hope you tape those so you can put them on your website, those testimonials.
If you go to Facebook, you'll see it. Yeah, I got it everywhere.
Wonderful.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the growth that you did, and because it's so funny. Christy and I see a lot of young, not young in age, emerging entrepreneurs.
Now you're going to use young.
You're young.
We are all in that same boat. But it's amazing whenever they project their financials and we see this hockey stick, where we're going to go from 0 to $1 million in 12 months. You did it. You absolutely did it. And you did it by using your own knowledge, your skills. You saw where you had gaps and you fill those gaps in. It's a great story. You should be very, very proud of yourself.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's really been fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what's the plan? Is it to continue to grow this line of business, or are you going to add new products to the product line, or are you just going to, I don't know, start another company? Because, it sounds like this one's working just fine.
Yeah. Wait for something to fall into the toilet again, and then you make another product around.
I would go plan a family reunion if I were you, because you're going to strike gold pretty soon after.
You're right. Maybe I should do that. No, we're going to be developing more additional purses within our line, but we do have some really cool things coming up, which one of the things, which is, I'm happy to tell your listeners, I'm just not telling my competition, but we're going to be doing a men's line.
Ooh. A man purse. I like it.
But I'm going to work on it in April, but I don't know if it'll even come out next year because we have so much need in Save the Girls to do my my men's line. It'll be out within 18 months. I know that. Whether I can get it out in 12 months is what I'm trying for at this moment.
That's awesome.
So it sounds like you're on another plane back to China.
I leave next week.
Well, I'm glad we caught you in between because this is really exciting, and we're so glad to be a part of it. So how much have you donated to breast cancer research at this point?
Well, that was super fun too. So we're going to donate annually for sure, but we donated $10,000 in our first year.
Wow.
Which was, by the way, more than 10% of my profit. So I don't want everybody to go, oh, you made $100,000 your first year. No, I really didn't. But, but it wasn't breast cancer's fault. We got hit with tariffs, at 10%.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were so behind trying to always run that we had to fly a lot of purses. And just for your listeners' ears, it's about $2 a purse, maybe even $2.50 a purse, and sometimes up to $4 a purse to fly them within a week versus on a boat, it's 40 cents a purse. So you lose when you grow so fast like I did. You lose your profit. It's all your profits going into just trying to get the product here.
Well, you wanted it in people's hands pretty quickly, right? Yeah,
I did. I wanted to grow quick, and I'm okay with what happened. I just decided I'm going to go ahead and donate what I thought I would donate to breast cancer before my product was late and hit by a tsunami and all the other things that happened. That wasn't breast cancer's fault. So I donated more.
That's amazing. What's the average cost for folks if they are interested in buying one of your purses?
Yeah, I made them very reasonable. So they're only like $26.99 up to $44.99, $48.99, I guess is my highest price point. And I do have RFID ones. So that means your credit cards can't be skimmed, out the back side of your purse. So I have that. I have wallet purses and I have all kinds of SaveTheGirls.com is where you can go there. And then I have so many retailers and I put a store locator, on my website at SaveTheGirls.com. And then that way people can find stores near them that have the product so they can try them and see them and all of that. But yeah, so I have quite a few variety and they're really selling very well and people like the quality. I'm trying to go with quality, but yet low cost. That was one of the things everybody at Marcus said, you're way too low on price. And I probably am. I wouldn't have had the growth if I would have had that same purse go at, instead of 26, maybe I sell it at 32. Well, that would have been a better margin for me, which maybe that would have been good to grow. But I chose this market. I wanted to be in this middle realm where I'm not doing the cheap, but I'm also not doing the expensive purses. And I wanted it to be something that everybody could have. Like that's my niche is in that kind of price point right now with the Save the Girl brand. So I'll come out with other brands that might be more expensive. But Save the Girls, I kind of want it to be, it's a Save the Girls. I want everybody to be able to have one and be able to afford it. And
you're making it accessible. I mean, they can purchase it off your website or go into a brick and mortar institution and be able to buy it. So, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, you are leveraging that marketing like nobody else is doing. So that's great.
Well, we're really thrilled that you could make time to be with us. Yes. And you may not know, but between the two of us, we end up doing a lot of events over the course of a year where we introduce emerging entrepreneurs to folks who are a little bit further on their entrepreneurial journey. So I'm just going to tee you up to expect a phone call from us at some point to say, would you come share your story?
I love helping people. I mean, I really enjoy that, actually. I've already coached. Well, prior to doing this, I probably helped start 20 companies, just, people asking for advice, or I go on their board of directors or, things like that. So I've done a lot of things like that already. And I love helping people and telling them where to go and being a good resource for others. Other people have been a great resource for me. So I always
Tami, expect
the
whatever
call. Knowledge I have, you can have.
Awesome.
So,
well, thank you.
Call. Yes.
And we, really appreciate you making time on what is clearly a busy and fast-paced schedule. So.
Yeah, she's on her way to China next week. Come on.
You can catch her. You can catch her online. So tell our listeners again where they can find your purses.
Sure. They're on SaveTheGirls.com. It's probably the easiest to just use the store locator there. I mean, we have places throughout St. Louis. Moss and St. Charles is one. Down by the station is another one. Orly's Boutique. I don't know. We have a bunch, in St. Louis region. Cat's Meow is a fun one.
Cool.
But on the east side of the river, we have quite a few. We have Don Rogers. We have the Basket Case, which is a nice one, and Ben's. I mean, we have quite a few. Now I'm going to get in trouble. Bad Sisters Boutique in Columbia. So I mean, we have quite a few stores throughout the region. We're in 1,400 stores.
And
now,
if one of our listeners isn't in one of those locations, they can still order off your website, right?
Of course, yeah. SaveTheGirls.com, and they can find a store near them by using store locator, or they can buy online.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for your time, and we look forward to catching up with you again in the future.
Safe travels.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Changing the way you view new ventures, unlocking your creativity and innovation, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's Entrepreneurially Thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit entrepreneuriallythinking.com to listen to all your favorite episodes and learn more about our guests, hosts, and sponsors. Feeling inspired? Be sure to share your thoughts, questions, and stories in the comments section. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. The best way to show love is to share and subscribe. Let everybody know that you're entrepreneurially thinking.